Haha. Amazing. Took longer than what I thought, but now we can hop into it. So sorry for the delay. Now let's talk weather. What all of you wanted to talk about. So, good morning, Banquetel. Good morning, Chelsea. No, I understand anytime we talk storms, people want to talk severe risk, and today there is very limited to none. So, one thing I will note is the winds within this. First, let's get a storm track for you. I want to see how quickly this guy's moving. Last check, it was about 20, south at 20, at 11. So portions of the line certainly going to be moving faster than the other. But, all right, let's say 15. Maybe it's an estimate, but it's something. We will go, I'm going to kind of go from this section of the line. You see it kind of bowing out, which is a sign we talk about a lot of very strong winds. We'll dive into that here in just a second. And I know people are asking for timelines, so that's exactly what we're going to do, except I think I drew this with the wrong timeline. Okay, that's 20. So let me slow it down just a little bit. We'll do 15. Maybe. There we go. Okay, here's 15. Moving to the south at 15. Sure. And again, this is a rough estimate, but gives us at least an idea. Put that in play. So it's 9:33 right now at the time of streaming this. I know sometimes there's a bit of a delay, but right now has this moving in 9:41. So in about the next 8-ish minutes into Bryan. BCS, that's the intersection of Texas and University at 9:54, and then gets to Cooks Point in about 10:06, Caldwell 10:32, Snook 10:40, Wilcox closer to 11 o'clock, and Navasota, I know Banquetel was asking about that. Right now, again, if this continues to move at the same speed, we're looking at about 11:20-ish. So let's clear it. And again, you can see nothing severe. And when we start to find sections bowing out, again, that means we're finding strong winds. And right now, we'll use our first alert radar, bright green. You know, we typically look for these brighter colors. At last check, we were getting about 38, 40. Yeah, so we're still upper 30s. And we've got... Again, strong thunderstorms, and then that, again, let me get another device out for me. We just got an update from the National Weather Service. Does appear that we have a flood advisory for Houston County, which makes sense. You guys have been finding rain the last little bit. Let's see. Houston... All right. Hasn't pushed through my system yet, but it is on the way. Yep, not yet. Okay, cool. Sweet. Okay. Trina's asking, can you do a time tracker to include Huntsville? Yes, sure can. Now, Huntsville, you're already hearing a little bit of thunder, probably seeing some lightning, because of this section of the line, where it has been raining a little more frequently, or not more frequently. It's been raining longer over the eastern reaches of the area. So let's, again, slow moving. So at best estimate, about 15, I think still works for this. We'll go kind of with the heaviest portion. Whoop. All right. There we go. So gets to the airport around 9:58. So got about 20-ish minutes here. And then Huntsville, 10:08. Point Blank, 10:13. And then moves towards Livingston, closer to 11, just after 11 in Cold Spring. Art saying it's here in North Bryan. Fantastic. Still trying to see where that flood advisory is because it is not populating in my system. But so there's your timeline for kind of the eastern half of the area. Ooh, you know what? It's probably because it's underneath it. Ah, there it is. So let's get the details here on this flood advisory. Again, it's just been raining longer up in Houston County. So right now that advisory goes until 11:30. And they're saying between 2 and 3 inches of rain have already fallen. An additional 1 to 2 are possible. So let's look at our rain totals. Underneath that. Again, this is estimate, so not going to be exact. Yeah, estimated 2 to 1.5 to 2. Trina, you're welcome. So yeah, certainly finding heavier rain there. And then if we want to see the rain rates, that may be helpful. Right now, things more moderate to light over that advisory area, which is good. But you can see certainly they've had kind of rounds of moderate to heavy, which has led to that advisory happening. So that's moving into Huntsville. And again, here it is moving into town. Interested to see if we can get... Let's see if our live eyes are up and going. Okay, cool. I'm going to take a couple live eye looks, and we'll do another timeline for those of us just joining. All right, so this is our Madisonville camera, and you can see already got some raindrops actively falling. We've also got, again, that's just kind of the leading edge of that line. So it looks gray, looks overcast, little rumbly. Then we'll get you another look here. So there is Kyle Field. I was there last night with thousands of my closest friends. And right now, again, the rain not here in town yet, but you can certainly see it looks a little ominous. And then I know we have people watching in Navasota. There's our Navasota camera. Again, things just quiet and gray. We'll get the downtown Bryan camera up. Doesn't look like we're finding any rain yet. But again, that will soon change. I do think I hear it here at this station. Aha, I do hear it at the station. And then there is Baylor, Scott, and White. So just kind of a look around, give us an idea of what's going on. I'll bring you back here now. All right, so Art, happy we can be live. We are also, my goodness, I'm throwing things around. We are also live currently on YouTube as well. So if you maybe have people in your life who don't have a Facebook account and need some weather info, we have been streaming over on YouTube. So you can catch more information there. And YouTube, you can also leave comments. So if you have any questions, let me know over there, and I'll kind of be flipping between the two streams. But again, the best thing about all of this is that it is sub-severe in nature, which we love. I'm going to keep these live eyes up over here so I can keep an eye on them in case anything interesting starts to happen. Again, we looked at winds. Let's look for hail cores. Don't think we're going to find anything. It doesn't appear that way. Yes. Perfect. All right, great. So no hail cores, just watching for some gusty winds. And again, right now, using our first alert radar, we kind of get a better idea of that at a higher resolution. So if you are Wixon Valley, the heaviest gusts have likely already passed through, but likely still a good bit breezy. Melinda says it's raining in Benchley. You guys are also finding some of those winds. So let's poke around, see what we're looking at here. All right. So ignore the negative. That's just the direction for our radar here. And anywhere from, again, about 30 to 40. So strong winds, but sub-severe. And I do believe it'll stay like that. One thing I do want to bring your attention to is we do have flood watches in effect for a pretty large portion of the state. Let me see if I can pull that up for us real quick. Larry's saying it's pouring in Milano. I believe that. Raining really hard in Normandy, raining in Benchley. Yep. And again, right now, this is just good run-of-the-mill rain and rumbles. No severe weather attached with it. There we go. Let's get a look at the flood watch. Don't believe it's until 1. I need to double check our time on that. But you can see a large portion of the hill country, and that stretches into... It's until 7 p.m. 12 p.m. for Lee County, and then 7 for our northernmost counties. So through this afternoon and evening. But it is not the entire Brazos Valley, but is in the areas that have already seen rain this morning and are going to find rain filling in behind that as well. So there is our flood watch. Again, no severe. We will take. I'll show you future radar, and then we'll get back to actual radar. But future radar has struggled a lot. This one, slightly less so. So I'm going to show you this model. Again, initialized okay. I think that's pretty true to what we're going to find. And then if we kind of walk through the rest of your Sunday evening should be quiet. Tomorrow morning, quiet. Maybe tomorrow afternoon we find some more activity. Then we're getting into Tuesday. And we just don't need to think about that yet. So let's get back to radar. If I can find where I was. All right, let's check for questions. Happy to be on YouTube. Glad we have some people watching. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Okay, so you can also see again, there's a little bit of activity now bumping up out ahead of that front of this line, kind of moving through Grimes County. So Carlos, Anderson, kind of heading towards Shiro right now. Beat ice, maybe you caught a little bit, but you're starting to find some more. We've got, trying to keep an eye on our live eye cameras, see if we're finding anything. Our Burleson County one is still down. So we will keep that rolling. I'm going to move around our live eye cameras. All right. Well, maybe I'm going to move around our live eye cameras. I get Cassidy to start to move around our live eye cameras. All right. All right, cool. Again, thanks for hopping on. If you have any questions, let us know. I hear thunder. Of course, and sitting on the deck waiting here on Highway 21 by Rellis. It's coming. It is coming. Just got to give it a little bit of time. So there is our Briarcrest live eye. It is rainy and rumbly and a bit of a mess. So if you have to be on the roads, I know a lot of us are either at church or going to church, have some errands to run. And there's the camera moving around too. So you can see the winds with this, again, that bowing section of the line. Ooh, yeah, we're getting a fair amount of shaking on that live eye. Right now, I think this is our most active one. So again, if it is on Briarcrest, it is going to continue to kind of push down Highway 6 and College Station. You're up next. So let's get back to this. Again, we'll keep an eye on. Corey, we will. I know a lot of us have been wanting some rain, and if we can get it without bumps and bruises of severe weather, fantastic. So yeah, we saw the camera moving around, so let's hop into our wind. I'm going to try and get, maybe this one will work for me better. Aha, there we go. So yeah, 30, 36, 29. Yeah. So again, sub-severe, but we know as storms roll in, we want to make sure that we're being informed. So I'm going to move away from Brazos County, get us a look over here at Burleson County. Lisa's saying good wind and rain behind Kroger and Bryan. Yeah, certainly if you have not done your grocery shopping and you're about to head out, I do recommend taking the rain jacket. Or maybe you can peruse inside a little longer. Let's do another timeline on this. Again, moving roughly to the south at about 15-ish miles per hour. So we'll go kind of from this top corner up in Milam through Burleson and down through Brazos. We'll go to the south. Rough timeline here. Again, sometimes there is a bit of a delay. So currently it is 9:48. BCS 9:58. So again, that's the intersection of Texas and University. So I think even that is a little bit slow. Caldwell around 10:13. Deanville 10:41. Wilcox 10:45. Milliken. All right. We're going to hop back into the live eyes because we have got a shaky camera over at Briarcrest. And of course, once I click on it, it's going to stop. Ain't it always the way? All right. We'll keep looking again on our live eyes. There's some shaking. A little bit at least. Corey saying the wind is here. Over on YouTube, they're saying flooded and easterly. So we will keep an eye on that. Again, right now, the only flood advisory that we have is over in Houston County. Oh, I forgot we were still on the live eye. I'll bring it back. All right. So over towards easterly. Again, the rain rates are pretty heavy, so it makes sense to me. And also easterly, you found more rain over the last couple of hours, so you've just had more rain, period. So let's look. Again, heaviest rain rates going to be right along that leading edge. So right now, heaviest rain anywhere from kind of southern Milam and Robertson County moving into northern Brazos. Also finding some pretty hefty rain over in Madisonville. Yeah, over 4 inches an hour. Yeah, Corey, I feel like it's been a minute, right? Just good, heavy rain, as Shel Winkley used to say, still does say. Tut tut, Brazos Valley. Looks like rain. All right, so that is, again, pretty heavy rain rates, which is one of the reasons that, especially if this line slows down, we could find some localized flooding and some standing water. Again, I'm keeping an eye on Briarcrest camera right now, and it, again, is shaking. And it's hard to see, but if you watch the cars that are driving, you can see we're kicking up a decent amount of water on our tires already. So, key saying it's raining hard in bead ice. Oh, I hear it at the station. I hear it at the station. All right, let's get you guys back here. I'm going to see if Cass wants to do... All right. Donnie saying over an inch in North Zolch in about 20 minutes and still pouring. So yeah, we're looking at these rain rates, right? And that's putting down a hefty amount of rain in a very short time. So let's look at rain totals. Again, estimates, but an idea. So I think these may be underestimating a little bit, especially kind of right along that leading edge. But well, you got about an inch there, but certainly finding some healthy rain up across our northern counties. People are asking for times and places again, so let's do another timeline for us. Again, at best estimate, this is moving to the south at about 15. So let's stick with that. I'm going to do this section of the line, and then we'll go over East I-45. All right. So we got Madisonville, 10:08, Snook, about 10:30, 10:42 in Milliken. And again, that's when the line is getting there. You can see kind of underneath that that highlighted area, we're getting some activity jutting out ahead. So while the line says it'll get to Anderson closer to 11, you're probably about to find some rain in Anderson, as well as other portions of Grimes County. All right. So left off at Anderson, Navasota, 11:08, Washington, 11:23, 11:43 in Courtney, Burton, 11:53, Brenham, closer to noon. And again, right now, all of this sub-severe, I anticipate it to stay that way, especially with, you see kind of the Boeing segment that we just timed out. That Boeing shape means that these are very wind dominant and outflow dominant. So, all right, before I forget, let's hop over to this section of the line. This section has been a little strange. So you can see it's not really moving all that much, right? So that means we could certainly find a bit of a slower movement. In fact, let's check that section of the line specifically, about 14. So yeah, 15 may be a bit of an overestimate, but it gives you an idea. Whew, got some big drops falling here. So let's kind of the more moderate section of this line. So we've got Point Blank at about 10:13. Oakhurst about 10:20. Bead Ice 10:33. Huntsville 10:48. Cold Spring just after 11. Shiro 11:17. New Waverly closer to noon. Whew, yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it is coming down at the station. So again, if you're joining us and have any questions, please let us know. I'm going to try and keep track of those. Let's get another look at... Yeah, man, those sound like huge drops. Caldwell. Ask about Caldwell. It is lining up. It is heading your way. Hey, Cass.
Hey.
Are those drops just like huge?
They look big.
Okay.
But it's
They sound huge.
It's very interval-like.
Yeah.
Coming down, picking up.
I think it's about to pick up a lot. All right.
They look, I mean, I can see how I can.
Yeah, they look huge. They sound very large. Cassidy is going to be posting some of that over on the KBTX Weather Instagram, and as well as hers and mine. So we're gonna get you kind of some looks outside as this is rolling through, so you can follow us there. We're on all the socials. But Caldwell, it is moving into your neck of the woods right now. So that was weird. Anyway. My computer over here had a moment. Ooh, I'm gonna look at Baylor Scott and White. Y'all want to see that. That looks a little sketchy, right? It's just, that line that is pushing out. Things look dark, and as you look further to the south, things are certainly more clear. You're starting to find some raindrops over on the Baylor Scott and White camera as well. So, man, it is. I think it may have a little bit more bark than bite, but it is certainly about to pick up. Downtown Bryan. There it is. Rainy, rumbly. All right, we're getting stuff shared over on the Instagram right now. Perfect. Tiffany's saying it feels good outside. I believe that. There's another look at Briarcrest and Highway 6. Again, if you are about to hit the roads, have to be out and about this morning, give yourself some extra time. We just want to make sure everyone is being safe and getting to where they need to go in a timely but, again, safe manner. That is the most important part. So we'll bring it back here. Yeah, we're very easily going to find some flooding just because of how high these rain rates are. So I said the raindrops sounded huge, but they're also, as Cassidy was saying, coming down kind of in intervals. So you can see within the line, you've got, a rain rate out ahead of it that's half an inch an hour. You go back just a little bit further, that's over 2.5 inches an hour. You get into these pink areas like the ones moving through Montana, that's over 4 inches an hour. That is so much water. But the good news is those pockets are relatively small, but they're embedded within also pretty moderate rainfall. So you've got those, over 4 inch an hour rain rates embedded within rain rates upwards of 3 or upwards of 2.5. So it's moderate to heavy, and it kind of goes back and forth until you can kind of get a little bit further back, where once this initial line passes, those are more manageable rain rates. Again, closer to half, a little bit over a quarter, closer to 1/10 of an inch, right? And like Tiffany was saying, it feels good outside. Before I got distracted, I was going to look at temperatures. All right. Time check here, 10 a.m. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not even going to lie. That's nice. You've got anywhere where the rain is falling, it's in the low 70s. Anywhere where it is not actively raining currently, we've got 80s, and it is muggy and humid and likely pretty sticky. So I will take that any day. Also, if you're joining us on Facebook, and maybe you have loved ones who don't have Facebook or just don't use it, which I don't blame you. I don't really use it other than for work purposes. We are streaming over on YouTube right now. John's asking if it's going to be a total washout. Not all day, but I think here for the next couple of hours, it's going to be pretty wet across a good portion of the area. Let's see. Did those post? I do believe so. Fantastic. So, again, if you have loved ones who don't have Facebook or it's just harder for them to use, you can find us over on YouTube, KBTX Media, and we're going live right now. All right. So again, we'll hang around as this line kind of continues to push to the south, but this is just your run-of-the-mill rain and thunderstorms. So really our biggest concern is going to be the flooding potential that is coming along with this. And again, as of right now, we have one flood advisory, and that's over in Houston County. And I'm not going to be surprised if we need to see more of those issued right now. Let's check in with National Weather Service partners. See what they're saying. Yep. Nothing right now from them. So we'll keep a close eye on it. Let's see if our Fort Worth partners are saying anything. What was it? It was like 2 hours ago. So yeah, nothing new from them. Which, again, no news is good news. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm going to take you back to some live eye looks. Again, there's our Briarcrest Highway 6. There's our downtown Bryan. And earlier, just a little bit ago, it was pretty clear cut. There we go. Where we could see kind of the leading edge of the clouds from our Baylor Scott and White camera. You can still see it. It's a little bit lighter as you kind of look to the south, but we are finding more of that rain and that gray kind of moving through. Emily's asking how long this is going to last. So let's hop back into the details of it all. Get another look at Kyle Field, though. Looks pretty in the rain. I'll tell you what. All right. Of course, it smells good. Yeah, it's called petrichor, I believe is how it is pronounced. The smell of the rain. And it's really, I think it's a bacteria that's like woken up when it rains. I could be lying, but I think that's right. Read it on the internet, right? So it has to be true. All right. So we were asking about how long this is going to last. So the heaviest stuff, likely the next, here, let's see. Let's draw a line behind that. So the heaviest stuff looks to end closer to about 10:30 in North Solch, ends closer to 11. So I think for about the next hour, we should be finding these kind of pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall with this leading edge. But that doesn't mean we're done with the rain, because you can see it kind of filling in behind across our northernmost counties. We were seeing, people were saying some localized flooding. They're finding some standing water. But again, if we're looking rain rate wise, I mean, it's moderate behind it. You're picking up a little bit. So let's, I hit the wrong thing again. So a few tenths of an inch an hour. It's something. But it's certainly not 4 inches an hour or 5 inches an hour, which is what we are looking at within this leading edge, right? So again, this is the reason why we called for a first alert weather day today, because we knew that this was going to be impactful as we were trying to get our day up and going. Emily, of course. Of course. And I know we were asking about timing and all that good stuff, and we did the timeline, but let's, just for giggles, look. I'll show you this one. I don't have much faith in this model, if I'm being honest. It has not done well. Yeah. So obviously that's not great. So let's ignore that one. Let's see if the hourly updated one is any better. I don't have hope. Much hope, at least. It's slightly better, but still not great. It does have some activity popping up later tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Again, it's hard to believe that when the initial data isn't fantastic. So you hear us say a lot, bad data in, bad data out. Cherie, yeah, it is grocery store time. If you got up and out this, oh my goodness. If you got up and out and about early this morning, there we go. I think you'll be patting yourself on the back. This to me looks more like what we can expect, right? So we were saying kind of the heavy stuff ends at about 11. That's close to what we're seeing. I do think we'll have some more light rain filling in behind than what this is showing, but then it keeps us quiet. So let's get back to radar. See if we've got nothing new from Houston. Gonna show you that because that looks nasty. That looks nasty. In addition, that also looks nasty. But again, looks scary. Has a little bit more bark than its bite, because while we've got rumbles, we've got lightning. We've certainly have got some heavy rain. We are not looking at any hail, and winds were strong, but not severe. In fact, let's see if we can get some wind readings here. They may be a little skewed now that it is raining so hard at our radar site, but won't know if we don't try. That's better. It's not awful. Let's click around. Again, the bright greens. Oh, Cherie, that is so kind. Thank you. We're just doing our job. I'm just personally happy I got my grocery store running done this morning. All right, we've got, again, 20, 30, run-of-the-mill rain and thunderstorms. This, to me, is pretty perfect Sunday weather, I think. Now, again, coming at a not convenient time, so that is where things could get a little hairy. Let's try and look over here. Yeah. Again, 15, 20 mile per hour. Nothing extreme. Maybe a little bit closer to the leading edge, but even then, that looks interesting. Hang on. I mean, you get close to the radar site, and especially when it's raining, some stuff can get a little skewed. But again, even then, we're getting 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. So manageable for us this morning. Oh, I was going to look at Hailscope just to double check we're not finding any of that. I don't believe we are. Let's scope around. No. Again, didn't think so, but always worth a little bit of a check. Let's check in on our YouTube stream. Jay saying it's thunderstorming and raining. Just yuck. Yeah, this is... Rob saying steady rain in Madisonville. I was going to look at our Madisonville camera. That reminds me. See what we've got going on over there. So yeah, that's your steady rain. So Madisonville is kind of on that line between the leading edge of the front, or that complex of storms, and the pretty steady rain that we've seen over towards Houston County and kind of along and east of I-45 really this morning. So I'll bring you back and I'll kind of show you what I mean here. So there's Madisonville. Our camera's over there. So you can kind of see you've got the leading edge of this complex of rain and thunderstorms. So at the western half of Madison County, a little more rowdy than the eastern half, where it's just steady rain, moderate to heavy, but you're not getting the rumbles and the flashes of lightning and all that good stuff. Right. Again, just checking in with our National Weather Service partners. Put that in play again. But yeah, this we wanted to hop on, kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Again, we know this is impactful weather. It remains a first alert weather day, not for severe weather, but for this, right? Just inconvenient weather as we were trying to get out and about for any of our Sunday activities and enjoy our Sunday. Apologize if my voice is a little raspy. Was yelling a little too hard at Kyle Field yesterday. Well, thank y'all. I'm happy I got to come in and see you guys on a Sunday. What a treat. And the good news for you is you get to see me dark and early tomorrow morning. Jay, of course. And Rob, you're asking about, over with soon. I think the heaviest stuff should be done, like we said, within the next hour or so, if not a little before that. But you see the backfill that's going on. That is going to likely keep that gloomy and gray. That was the word I was looking for. Kind of look and feel for us. Again, forecast radar and our models aren't doing great with this, but Rob, me too. Me too. I'll probably hang around with you guys here for the next about 10-ish minutes. We'll stream for an hour at that point. And, whoo, hello, Thunder. And then I may let you go for a little bit, and if we need to hop back on, we will. But I do think, for the time being, again, run-of-the-mill rain and thunderstorms, so we wanted to make sure you're up to date. We have got more information over at kbtx.com about what we can expect for the rest of your Sunday and moving into Monday. Labor Day, a holiday for many. I'll be working. Again, kind of looking at the rain rates here. We've got some heavy rain falling down towards South College Station. Rain picking up here at the station as well. So, Welburn, you're just now kind of getting the leading edge. So there are those kind of heavier rain rates embedded within the moderate. And that's pretty much what we're looking at until we can get this leading edge past us. Let's look quickly. Let's get a look at estimated rainfall. Keep saying the winds are picking up in beat ice. There we go. How long is this from? Last 24 hours. See. Yeah, I mean, there's some estimates upwards of 3 to 4 inches, right? That's a lot of rain. That's a lot of rain and not a lot of time. So we know that localized flooding is going to be a concern as we move throughout the rest of your Sunday. So keep that in mind. Even once the rain kind of clears out, some of that flooding is still possible. My goodness, those drops sound huge. Donnie saying over 2 inches of rain in North Zolch and still raining. Yep. Thanks for the report. I appreciate it. Keep those reports coming as of what you're seeing right now. And as we go through the rest of today and get this rain cleared out of here, let us know how much rain you found at the end of the day. We'd love to know that. And hopefully we can talk about that tonight at 10 and then tomorrow morning on BBTM. All right. Alicia, no, not a tornado concern, not a severe weather concern for us today. Quite literally just rain and rumbles. Y'all, I'm pushing stuff around like it is my job. Fact. Let's double check, see if SPC has changed anything. Don't believe they have, but yep. Convective outlook for today is if you go to the website, we are included in the lightest green color, which typically we don't even show because that means just general thunderstorms. Now, while a few stronger storms are certainly possible, again, we found some winds upwards of 30 to 40, and that's verging on kind of your strong thunderstorm statements, those special weather statements that we get from the National Weather Service. But for right now, they have not issued any of those. Let's put this in play again. So again, that leading edge, what is moving through town right now and pushing into portions of Lyons now. You're about to get that. Caldwell, you're finding it. Snook, Frenstadt. Lee County, you're kind of catching the tail end of it, but things have been relatively calm. You are included in the flood watch, which we talked about a little bit ago. So let's actually get you a look at the flood watch because it's a chunk of the state. There we go. Yeah, so you see shaded in green anywhere from north of I-20 up towards Abilene and San Angelo, moving down south closer to I-10, crosses over I-35 and into our north and western counties. Let's do another timeline. I see Alan's asking about Brenham. It's been a minute since we've done a timeline. We'll do two. We'll do one for the leading edge and then one for the backside of that leading edge. So we can get an idea of when the heavier activity is going to stop, and then we can just move on to the kind of filling in of showers behind it. So let's get a pause here. Again, timing-wise, this has been pretty on track with 15 miles per hour, so we'll hang with that We'll do the western half of the area, and then we'll go east of I-45. So Brenham, specifically, line looks to get to you closer to about noon. And as for how bad, it's heavy rain, so visibility reducing if you have to be out driving, localized flooding, some gusty winds, but nothing extreme, nothing severe, but strong. And we haven't seen anything hail-wise, and I don't think we will today. I think our atmosphere is a little too waterlogged for that. But that's kind of what you can expect. As for when, again, closer to loon? Tried to say lunchtime. Tried to say noon. Said both. Noon. Todd Mission, a little bit after, a little bit before that, sorry, about 11:47. Gets down towards Conroe, closer to 1 o'clock, about 12:50. Waller, really closer to 1 o'clock. So that is the front half of the line. So let's go the back half. So this is when you can expect, roughly, the heavy rain to be done, but you won't be done with the rain. So Caldwell, closer to 11, so you got about 40-ish more minutes. BCS, about 11:20, so you got about another hour of kind of the pockets of moderate to heavy. We get towards Milliken about 12:14, Navasota 12:44. And again, this is when the heavier activity should stop, and we'll move into just your light to moderate rain filling in behind it. So that's the western half. It's getting rumbly. Y'all, this rain makes me want to curl up on my couch and read. Or watch a movie. Or both. Also does make me wish it was a little cooler, but you know what? The temperatures we have right now, not bad. Not mad at it. All right, so for the eastern half of the area, you're not really finding the heavy rain. In fact, before I even do that, well, you're finding heavy rain, but you're not finding those extremely high rain rates. You've certainly got some moderate pockets, especially over towards kind of the eastern reaches of Walker and over into Trinity County, San Jacinto County. But you're seeing the dark reds and oranges, right? Versus the hot pinks that we're finding that are upwards of 4 to 5 inches an hour. So I don't really think I need to do 2 timelines for you. I think I'm just going to do that leading edge. That's when it will get there. And as for when it'll clear, it just depends on if we can get some drier air in behind this, or if we just keep the showery activity going, right? Shepherd about 11:10, Cold Spring around 10:40. Again, if you haven't really seen it yet, and then it's more of a Houston concern for that area. Also keep in mind, as of right now, we've got 1 flood advisory. And that is over towards Houston County. I thought we were getting updates from National Weather Service. We weren't. Also finding a little bit more of the thunder and lightning kind of building in behind that leading edge. So again, you're seeing more lightning strikes. I'll look at power outages. I don't think that's an issue right now, but well, we have a few. Got about 40 out. North of WJB. It's over towards Bear. You got Grass Court. Ooh, I can't see that street name. But it does look like they've got a crew assigned to it, which is great news. But we just want to make sure they do their jobs and can do so safely. So let's check College Station utilities. Outage. Yeah, we're good right now. Got about 4 out, but don't know if that is weather related. It very well could be. All right. Probably should have had that in play. Again, it is coming down here at the station, but the important thing is that it is not severe. It is strong. It is impactful. And that is why today remains a first alert weather day. But we should keep this activity subsevere. But if you have to be out and about today, later this morning, later this afternoon, because again, we know this rain's likely going to hang around for at least a little bit, give yourself plenty of time to get to where you need to go, to do so safely, and just keep an eye on the skies. Speaking of, we'll do a quick look at our live eye cameras, and then I think I'll let you go. So let's head over to those. There's our Madisonville camera. Again, you've got kind of a steadier rain, still finding heavier rain, visibility reducing rain here at Briarcrest and Highway 6. Looks a little green, but I think that may just be the camera. Then there's Kyle. You've got rain falling off on the camera lens. You can kind of see it, moderate to heavy, falling behind. You've got Navasota. There's the rumbles. Y'all, I will tell you what, my dog at home is not happy right now. I'd bet on it. There's Highway 6 from Baylor, Scott, and White, so south College Station. It's dark, it's rainy, it's rumbly. Again, if you are driving, hopefully you're not watching this and driving, but if you are about to have to drive, note that this rain is heavy enough to limit visibility, so give plenty of following space between you and the cars in front of you. And there's a look at downtown Bryan. All right, friends. Again, I know it is still loud, it is still rumbly, it is still noisy, but because this is subsevere, I do believe I'm going to leave you guys here for the moment. And again, we've got more information over at kbtx.com under the weather tab, First Alert Weather app. Again, keep that on hand. Keep that on hand today. And if any of this rowdy weather starts to spark up an activity, if we get flood advisories, if we get strong thunderstorms, it'll be the first to let you know about it. We will be here keeping an eye on things. You got meteorologist Cassidy Towns monitoring, as well as me. So we're gonna keep you informed. But again, it's just looking like a rainy and gloomy Sunday. So keep your attention on the weather. First Alert Weather Day, again, through the majority of today. Hopefully by this evening things will clear out. And then fingers crossed for Labor Day, we'll try and clear things out again. But because of how slow moving this front that is helping to spark up this activity is, I think we could still find some rain on Monday. But you know what? Cassidy will talk about that again tonight at 10. I will talk about it more tomorrow on Brazos Valley this morning. So we will let you guys go. Again, thanks so much for streaming here on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Y'all have a fantastic Sunday. Stay